Alright you guys, so ever since I started producing on YouTube, I've always been asked this one question. That question being, what Kontakt libraries do you use? And I'm not even joking, I get this generally probably on a daily basis still. And I feel like since we're almost at 20k, it's finally time for me to expose every single bank I use to make these 5 melodies. Generally, if you could name a video that I've done which has more source in it than this one, then I'll be surprised. In fact, let me know down in the comments if there is a video with more source than this one. So man, it's that time. Okay. We have the holy grail of Kontakt right here. And man, we have, this might be a long video. Right, so here we have Kontakt. Oh, that hurt. Oh, look at this banks. Where do we start, man? Okay, so starting off, I'm gonna go through the essential ones and the ones that I use on a daily basis, the ones that I would literally recommend to you guys. The first one being, I use this in almost every beat, whether it's to start one or to keep using it, is the grandeur piano, man. It's just such a great essential. There was the noir piano, which I also have down here, which is also great, but the sound of the grandeur is amazing. If I play it, it's just a beautiful piano, man. It's got all these cool settings as well, which you can play around with, tone and stuff. Very similar to the noir. So honestly, if I'd recommend a piano VST, it's between these 3. So those being the grandeur, the noir piano, also great VST. If you guys haven't checked out, this is what the noir looks like. I don't really use it too often now, but we have the felt and the pure section. So it's very similar to the grandeur. Probably sounds exactly the same because it is still a piano, so they're gonna sound quite similar. And this is great for if you're making like sort of pain beats, I guess you could say. We have the emotional piano, and look at all of these different sections right here. So as you can hear, it's just a softer version. A piano I'd recommend again, which has a different sound, is this SSS Vintage Upright Other Side VST. And we have all these 3 different versions. And it sounds a lot like a grand piano or like an upright piano, I guess, because that's literally what it is. Yeah, I highly recommend this one as well. This is actually a very fire piano. I'd say if you need a piano, it would be this and the grandeur or the noir. The 2 essentials, they have 2 different sort of sounds. So that's kind of the pianos done. Of course, with pianos, man, for the most part, you're gonna get exactly like a very similar sound, so it's not too much to worry about. I say this with everything. I say this with VSTs, like reverbs, for example. I always use Valhalla because I always see people using like different reverbs and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's gonna give you a very similar sound, so you don't have to think or deep it too much. On to the next one. So the next one we have here is Session Guitarist Electric Sunburst Deluxe. I actually got this from a Jay Cactus video, I think, so shout out Jay for that. I only have the demo version, but here it is. So as you can see, it's got a whole melody already. It's got like little ARP versions. And if you go to the melody section right here and bring this in, you then get it on its own. And yeah, I think this is very slept on. This is a very good version. Of course, for the demo, with a lot of these banks, honestly, I would say you could just get the demo version, because what they do for the demo is they let you play it for a certain amount of time and then it cancels out. So you could literally just get the melody done with the demo, then just export it out, and then you've still got the melody. You've saved like, I don't know, like $1 grand, how much these banks are nowadays. So do I have any other guitar ones? I do. For another guitar one, this is actually a very good VST. It's called Evolution Infinity. I think I'm pretty much slowly gonna go from more generic ones to the, you know, least known ones. So sure, stay tuned to the end of the video to see those. But yeah, you guys might be quite familiar with this. Pretty much just another guitar one, and there's loads of different like versions. You know, you're clean, and you also got the distorted if you want to make a nice lead. Let's go to like the scratchy lead. For some reason, starting off, we have Cine Strings Call, which is great. Not really too much I can say, man. It's just like a good strings bank. Do you know what I mean? It's got like the violins, it's got the cellos, it's got the basses, it's got the ensemble, which is just all of them. I actually haven't used this for a while. This is actually pretty good. Anyway, yeah, this is good because it has all these different sort of mixer presets. You know what I mean? It switches up a lot. Yeah, man, it's just a string bank. Do you know what I mean? And then after that, we also have the Kepler Orchestra string bank, which is also sick because this isn't just strings. It's like a lot of other stuff. Like it has woodwinds as well and all this stuff. And it has this sort of grid layout. Off first looks, it literally looks like a battleship grid right here, guys. As you can see, whenever you go across it, it gives you different sections. I don't know what in the music theory this is here, so we're just gonna ignore this. As you can hear, gives you like different sort of, articulation. So I guess if you're playing like lots at once, then you can have like a whole thing going on just from playing one chord. I don't have the effort to do that, so we're not going to do that. And there's also like some nice woodwinds in here. It's got the little battleship grid looking thing as well. So yeah, that's that, and there's so many others. Honestly, this would take me so long to go through this, but that's a pretty fire bank. A lot of these I feel like I haven't used for a while, and I'm going to start using them again. For another string bank, I think this is the last one. It probably isn't. We have Albion Solstice by Spitfire. So with this is probably one of my favorite ones because it just sounds so good. I use this a lot. Like, listen. Like, it just sounds like it's actually like a live string. I don't know, it just sounds so good. It has that, it's got effects, motors, and all these different sort of, oh my, wow, I didn't even know it had this, hold on. Fair enough, I did not know it even had that. So yeah, this is a fire banger. It's very stacked. If you want to get strings, I recommend just getting this one over all the other ones because this is all you need. After that, we now have Kinetic Toys. Honestly, this one's a little bit of a hit and miss. Do you know what I mean? Like there are some really good sounds and some sounds where you like, what on earth is this? Like, look at this, bugs. Ah, my ears. Like, I don't know about you, but it's just not, I'm not really feeling it. And it has this whole looking like what is this? Like, it is quite aesthetically pleasing, but you know what I mean? When I'm trying to like change the sound, it's not really the most helpful because like I'm there thinking like, oh, how do I make the timbre a little bit different? Do I have to move this little like dancing people? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just unnecessary. Like, it looks cool to the eye, but it's just a bit annoying to use sometimes. So that's a bit of a hit and miss. We have Cloud Supply by Kontakt. You should probably know what that is already because it comes with Kontakt. And then we have the Joshua Bell violin, which is pretty fire actually. See, I like this one. This is mainly why I got it, is because whenever you change the notes, it has like this sort of Goliath feature on it. So like, for example, and now we have session horns. So this is pretty good. Whenever it comes to horns or anything like that, this is the go-to. This actually has everything you need. So if we go to the solo instruments, because I don't want my laptop to blow up, but I go to one of the trumpets. You have all these different versions. Whenever it comes to horns, that is literally all you need. You don't need to get all these other banks. This is just the one. It has like all the solo instruments and it has them all together. So very fire. Now onto this one, we have Stress-Off Sampling Choir Essentials. So this one's pretty cool because it has all these different sort of choirs. It has children, an ensemble, which is everyone, a men's performance and a woman's performance. I like using the children's one. Yeah, very fire sound. I've actually got a lot of placements with this bank, so I highly recommend this one. I like this because it gives you all these different sort of words they say, or phrases, I guess, and you can kind of pick between the lot. So if I wanted just to say la, then I can just do this, or law. If I wanted to say le and key, like go back and forth. Do you know what I mean? And then if I do all of them, then it just does them all at different times. So yeah, that's pretty fire. That has that on all of the other versions as well. So yeah, this is a pretty cool bank. Now onto the next one, we have Scarby Rickenbacker bass. So if you want a live bass, this is where to go pretty much. This is like the perfect bank for a live bass. Nowadays, I feel like people are probably gonna say like other things, but it's gonna give you initially the same sound. When you want a live bass, this is a live bass. So I've got a lot of placements through this one as well. And my favorite preset is the night session one. There's all these different presets just give you different sounds. So yeah, so now I've done that, we have the Orchestral Essentials 2, which I can't lie, I have not used this for like years. So with that being said, we're gonna skip that. Now we have Exhale right here, which guys, I know probably everyone knows this, but it is kind of fire. It's kind of fire. It might be out of date or whatever. If you can probably flip the sound, you can get some fire sounds, you know? Most people already know what this is. Some nice little vocal chops in that. Now, I mean, I've heard so many songs which just have these phrases before. This is pretty much Arcade before Arcade came out, but a lot of you know this, so I'm not going to stick on it for too long. For the next one, we have Voices of Rapture right here. This is kind of cool whenever you need vocals again. I think with vocals, you can have more than one bank because, you know, you can have a lot of different sort of vocal sounds, I guess you could say. So that's why I've got these. I like this as well because it's got that sort of glide feature, like I said before. Yeah, and then we also have things like ooh. I think this was used on that one Kanye song. What is it? Where it goes. Ooh, 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 ooh. And it also has things like phrases as well. It has French phrases. Of course, I'm not French, so I have no clue what they're saying. They could be saying something really bad right now. And now after that, we have Mad at Flux, which is when it comes to bells, this is kind of the spot. This is just all bells. So I normally use a single version because I don't want a whole, like, you know what I mean? Like loads of bells going on, but it has like the glockenspiel and it has different versions. So a short version, softer version, a bowed or a verse, and it has that with the celesta, the xylophone, the vibraphone, and the marimba. So when it comes to bells, this is pretty fire. And when I go back to what I just had, it has all these sort of arpeggiated versions right here. Now after this, we have Archis, which I have used on a few samples which Southside's use, so highly recommend this. Free. Pretty fire sounds, and when you know how to flip sounds, then this is like amazing. So as you can see through here, it has all these different sort of layers. So this one will be a tonal wood ensemble, a hang drum, and a string orchestra. So you can hear them all at once, so, but I can change it. So if I want to change the hand drum, I can make it a vocal. And yeah, you can get some really fire sounds of this. This might be one of my favorite Kontakt libraries, so I highly recommend this one. Yeah, it has all these different sort of motions, pads, sparkles, stutters, subs, swells, textures. Don't really know what half of them mean, but they sound good, so I recommend this one. But now after that, we have Voices of Gaia by Sound Iron. So this again is another vocal bank. Now we have different people. There's all different phrases. And then you can do it by set and by key. Which I don't know what that means, set and key, but either way, it's just more sounds for me. And then we have articulations, so like legato, staccato, sustain. You know, the normal sort of singer stuff. Strawberry is my favorite one. She has phrases right here. And after that, we have all these different, like, look at how many different keys there are. And if I'm right, on every single key, yeah, every single key is a different phrase. So even if it's not in the key you're in, you could do one in, like, let's say I'm in D sharp minor, I'm using C sharp minor one. I could do C sharp minor. Then I can just go to this Kontakt right here and just bring it up too. So after that, now we have Balkan Etheric Orchestra. This is a little bit outdated, I know, because there was a whole phase, and I think it was like 2020 when everyone was rinsing the heck out of this. Whenever I heard the string sound from Balkan, I just wanted to turn the song off pretty much. Nevertheless, it was used so much because it was good bang. With that being said, let's just go through it. So if you don't know already, this is what you get with it. You get stuff like basses, which I've never touched in my life. You get trumpet. Pretty cool. Some choir sounds, and they have all of these sort of ethnic sounds, so stuff like the Bulgarian duduk, high and low, and the gypsy violin, which has been used by about half the industry. But like, it's got some underrated ones that haven't been used, so like, but the pad section is flipping crazy. You hear that? I mean, if you're making a dark beat, this is where it's at. And then onto the next one, we have a few little guitar ones. So we have scoring guitars right here. This is really good when you're trying to make sort of emotional sounds, or you want like ambient guitars, right? So you have all these different sections right here. So anyway, yeah, starting off, we have the melodic pulses and phrases right here. Again, if you're sick of arcade, just come to here. And then also, with that being said, it has reverse ones, which is, this is what I love to use when I'm trying to make ambience in my beats. You got pads as well, loads of different types. And also you have Metropolis Arc right here, which again is another string plugin. It's a very sort of powerful, strong string sounds. You have all different things, like you have woodwinds as well. It's got some really fire flutes in here. So yeah, it's definitely built around orchestral music, you know what I'm saying? This is probably what they use in movies and stuff like that. So if you're trying to make some sort of really cinematic stuff, this is where it's at. You can't hate with this, there's loads of stuff in here. And also right here, this might be one of my favorites as well. This is top 3 for me, and this is the Orchestra Complete. So again, as you can see, I went for about 50 million orchestral VSTs, but this one is a little bit different. Probably about the 5th time I'm saying that as well, because if you click the Orchestra Complete 2 right here, which is the whole thing in one, like, you can get some crazy stuff in here. And if you're trying to get that sort of nice dark sound or just something different which you can sort of resample, this is where it's at. This is one of my favorites. And as well as that being said, it's got the normal essentials. It's got the strings, brass, woodwinds, percussion, keys and harp, choir, strings effect, and brass effects as well. So if I'd recommend banks to you guys, this would be one of the top 3 banks I'd recommend. Then after that, we have Ancient World right here. This is a pretty fire VST when you're trying to get that sort of ethnic sound or like sort of stringed real sounds. It has that as well. It's got winds right here, loads of different flutes. After that, we have Nucleus, which I haven't touched in a while, so I'm not going to do that. And last but not least, we have Spitfire's solo violin. So these are only the libraries which have the pictures. If you guys go to the little file section right here, it's a whole new video. So if you guys want to know part 2 of this, let me know down below and we'll get to that. But yeah, man, this violin is very fire as well because again, it has a nice little glide sort of sound to it. If I play it, for example, you know what I mean? I love that. So this is one of the top 3 violins for me. I think this is a very fire sound. Sort of stringed instruments. It's got a lot of different sections you can have here as well. You can change the vibrato, the dynamics to expression, which is like the timbre, or you want it to be close, or, you know what I mean? Loads of different things right here. So I highly recommend this as well. I really like this one. So yeah, that is just literally a few of the 100,000 million banks I've got. And yeah, I think it would be bad if we didn't make a beat with it right now, right? So let's do that. Just like that, just to really sort of get a nice little rhythm, and I'm going to change it to a different sound. So we're going straight Kontakt only. We're going to go for, let's go for the orchestra so I can show you guys how crazy this bank is. Let's maybe try and switch sound. Oh, we can make some dark stuff right here. Hold on. But like we need sort of bass underneath that. So for that, I'm going to go to get a Rickenbacker bass. It's just that. I'm gonna get like some strings. Albion Solstice. This sounded pretty cool earlier on, so I'm gonna get the strings. Okay. Heavily pan it. Put to the right. So now let's get some vocals. We went through about a billion sort of different vocal sections. Get the legato version. Here we go. Just that. That goes with what I like, the little harp in the back. So I'm going to remove some sounds. Let's remove that high string because we've already got one. And dark. All right, guys, I think I just made the darkest murder beat you could ever make in your life. This is what it sounds like.